UFC 308 has completely squashed everyone's sort of doubts about Khamzat Chimaev. Another dominant performance from him. People like myself, I just want to sort of explain why I picked Robert Whittaker for this fight, which I sort of did a little bit in the last video. But as we could see, from Khamzat's past performances against guys that were pretty elite and pretty high up within the rankings, people like Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman, the fight went the distance, and obviously seen him gas out a little bit towards those fights, and especially 3 rounds. My thinking was that if he did get out of the first 2 rounds, Robert Whittaker, that he'd be able to put it on Khamzat and get up and end up, taking the win there. But obviously that wasn't the case. As I said in my last video, Khamzat Chimaev, if he's going to get it done, it's going to be within the first 2 rounds. If it gets past that, Robert Whittaker's most likely going to get the victory. Now, what I didn't expect was how dominant Khamzat Chimaev was on the ground with Robert Whittaker. And I know people are going to say, how could you not expect that? We've seen him dominate everyone that he's fought with on the ground. Well, we haven't really seen Khamzat Chimaev much at middleweight, guys, and Robert Whittaker isn't exactly a small guy. So I wasn't really sure how his, wrestling skills would translate from, fighting at a lower weight class compared to upper weight class against someone that's been well prepared for him, well prepared for him, obviously preparing for him for his last fight that ended up falling out, and obviously with this camp as well. I still have my doubts about Khamzat Chimaev, obviously, even though he's been an extremely good talent. I don't think anyone can deny that. I wasn't convinced that he'd be able to beat Robert Whittaker, especially considering that he's a former champion, that he's had so much experience within the UFC, and still fairly young, and I'd argue still within his prime at 33 years of age. All right? But all my doubts now about Khamzat Chimaev are completely gone. If he can put it on Robert Whittaker like that, I really don't like Dricus du Plessis' chances in the middleweight division. I'm looking around at all the middleweights right now, and I don't see any one of them that can beat Khamzat Chimaev. I don't see any one of them that has the wrestling pedigree that Khamzat Chimaev has. Every single fighter that he's faced, he's nearly taken them down within the first 10 seconds of the fight, and no one seems to be able to stop it. It seems like such a crazy risk to me to come out that fast-paced, because if his opponent's able to stop it, it leaves him quite exposed later on in the fight. But the problem is, not many people are able to make it out of the first or second round. So it doesn't matter anyway. He just goes so hard. And I love Khamzat Chimaev, even though I picked against him, obviously within this Robert Whittaker fight. He's one of the UFC fighters that I love watching compete. And the reason I do is because he just absolutely goes for it. He goes hard from the very first second of the bell. And he's definitely not boring. I've never seen a Khamzat Chimaev fight that's boring at all. And I've seen a lot of fans and people say, oh, they hate watching these Dagestani fighters, or, the wrestlers just, grapple with people and it's incredibly boring. That they want to see people just stand and bang. Well, if that's the case, why don't you just watch boxing? It's called mixed martial arts, all right, for a reason. If you want to watch boxing or kickboxing, if you want purity, that's what you got to watch, all right? But if you want mixed martial arts, what do you expect? Wrestling is a part of mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu. I think people are just watching the wrong sport, and I'm sick and tired of hearing about people bitch about grappling when it's a part of the sport. It's never going to go away, and it's an important aspect of MMA. Grappling and jiu-jitsu is what made MMA so great to begin with, But anyway, we're sort of getting off topic there. But Robert Whittaker, let's just go over the fight a little bit here. So Robert Whittaker, I thought, looked okay. I thought he was going to be able to weather the storm. Obviously got taken down pretty quickly, but he made some intelligent moves, coming up against the fence, trying to prevent Khamzat from getting his hooks in. But that relentless pressure of Khamzat Chimaev was just obviously too much for Rob. I thought, being a black belt in jiu-jitsu, I thought it'd be a lot harder to submit than, the likes of other opponents that he's beaten. I thought that his jiu-jitsu skills would prevent him from getting submitted. Okay, but clearly I was wrong. Khamzat Chimaev is on another level. His jiu-jitsu, his grappling, and his knowledge and his skills, the way he transitions between, side control to half guard to full mount, everything is just seamless and just picture perfect. If you train grappling, you know exactly what I mean. Everything is just smooth, and it's something beautiful to witness. And I think that's what a lot of people don't understand, or a lot of fans, that if you grappled yourself, you wouldn't find MMA so boring, right? You might understand a little bit more, all right? Because it just doesn't make sense to me how you can be a fan of MMA and not appreciate the talent that Khamzat Chimaev has. As far as Robert Whittaker goes, man, I thought he'd be able to do a lot better than that. And maybe he would have. I know we're playing a lot of, he said, she said, maybe this would have happened, if he didn't get his neck cranked. But I think that's the first time within the UFC I've seen someone get their jaw broken from a neck crank like that. And it has been confirmed, as far as I'm aware, that that was a jaw break. You could see all his teeth just sort of caved in because the jaw sort of separated. An absolutely brutal submission hold, you know. It just goes to show the squeeze that this guy has on him, and it's fucking terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. This guy is no joke whatsoever. You know, I don't think I've ever seen that. I can't think of any other time within the UFC that I've seen someone tap someone else from a neck crank like that. Maybe Khabib Nurmagomedov, but to break their jaw, that's absolutely insanity to me. This guy's the real deal. I thought if it would have made it out of that first round, Rob could have done something, but clearly Khamzat Chimaev is no joke. He reminds me of Conor McGregor, but the wrestling version, you know, comes out extremely quick, and after that he will sort of fade a little bit, but he's much better than what Conor McGregor ever was, all right? Ever was. This guy is an extremely special talent. I look forward to seeing what's next for Khamzat Chimaev. I think he has to fight DDP for the title now. He has to. Sean Strickland can go and kick rocks. You know, Sean Strickland, his fights are boring, man. He's boring. His fight against DDP was boring. His fight against Paul Costa was boring. Every time Khamzat Chimaev enters that cage, we know we're going to get an absolute banger. So I don't want to personally see Sean Strickland fight DDP for the title. I want to see Khamzat Chimaev fight him for the title next. He's earned it. I think Sean Strickland should probably face someone like Robert Whittaker next. And if Sean Strickland beats him, then he should maybe get another title shot. But I think at this point, if anyone but Khamzat Chimaev gets the title shot, that's an absolute travesty. He's earned it now, all right? He's proved all the doubters wrong. The guy's the real deal. You can hate him all you want, but he's definitely, in my opinion, going to be at the top of this division for a long time. And I think he absolutely smokes DDP. After everything that I've seen in his career, all my doubts now are completely gone. As far as what's next for Robert Whittaker, I think he should face Sean Strickland next and just see where he's at after that, because Sean Strickland is still a top contender within that division. So I think Sean Strickland versus Robert Whittaker is probably the perfect next fight for these two, okay? If Sean Strickland wins, you might give him the first shot at the winner of DDP and Khamzat Chimaev. But where does that actually leave Rob, you know? Because are we going to have a situation where Khamzat Chimaev beats DDP, and let's just say Rob beats Sean Strickland, we're going to see that fight again? Maybe, might be the way to go, but that's what I think should be next for both these guys. I think it only makes sense for Sean Strickland and Robert Whittaker to fight next. But let me know what you guys thought of UFC 308 and your thoughts on the fight and where you see Khamzat Chimaev in this division, whether you think anyone can beat this guy. You know, because I was quite shocked with what we saw. But thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Take care.